Hello and welcome. This, of course, TNT, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling. I am your host, Mr. Andrew Moore, and Eaton Mose. Puro, the Wrestle Bear, is here with me as we review the TNT Extreme BZW Weekend free shows, as well as RevPro UK Summer Sizzler that went down this past weekend, of course, main evented by Michael Oku and MJF. I've also got the latest news regarding Progress, TAC Wrestling, North Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Eve, and many of the other favourites and big promotions out here in the British wrestling scene, as well as a few matches that just, excite me. And since they excite me, I want to tell you about it. TNT Extreme, there were 4 shows in total over the weekend for TNT Extreme BZW. I'm not going to go into in depth because I'm going to review 3 of the shows, not the deathmatch wrestling. I'm not a deathmatch wrestling fan. Puro the Wrestle Bear absolutely hates deathmatch wrestling. No, you can't say that, and you really need to stop listening to Jim Cornette. Look, I respect deathmatch wrestling, but it's not what I like. I like technical wrestling. So does the Puro Wrestle Bear. So 3 shows. TNT Ignition High Voltage, the TNT Extreme BZW show, and TNT Ignition Aftershock. Now, TNT Ignition is it's sort of like an NXT brand for TNT Extreme, a place where we get to see some of the younger talents, newer talents, people who are just coming up in the scene, whereas TNT Extreme has some more of the bigger names. And of course, they have the deathmatch wrestling. Ignition is a family-friendly show. Extreme Wrestling, TNT Extreme, isn't 18 and over, of course, because of the deathmatch wrestling. I'm going to kick it right in. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. TNT Ignition High Voltage. I'm just going to go through a few of the results, pick out a couple of matches that I do want to talk about, and try and get through it quickly. As I say, 3 shows plus the Summer Sizzler show. That's 4 in total. Need to get going. So let's just crack on. TNT Ignition High Voltage. It kicked off with Max Brooker defeating Tom McCall. This was for the King of the Ring Crew Championship. You'll have to just check it out to find out what that's about. It's a bit of fun. RPD defeated KM Lane. I want to talk about KM Lane a minute. Very charismatic, very athletic. I do see a very bright future for this young competitor. This was a very good match against RPD. Of course, RPD, the former boxer, out there killing it now as the TNT Ignition champion. This match came about because of an issue that he had with Mike Bird on the last TNT Ignition show. So there is storyline involved in this. Next up was Emerson Jane and Rio, the TNT Extreme Women's Tag Team Champions. And they were taking on the Temple of Malum. Now, while I do think this was a great match, both I'm a big fan of Malum. I'm a big fan of Rio and Emerson Jane. I do have an issue with the match with the fact that they both needed to look strong. Still, Temple Malum on the rise. You certainly want your, women's tag team champions looking strong. I'm not sure if it was the right match to book. It was a great match. RPD interfered, giving the TNT Ignition Women's Champion the win. I just don't think we needed to see Temple of Malum pick up a loss here. Yes, just the way I feel about it. TNT Ultra X Championship with Man Like Doris versus a Gil Blanc, and I'm just gonna say it. Go watch this match. Go watch this match. It was just fantastic. I'm a big fan of the Gil Blanc, of course, French wrestler, French luchador, if you like. Was once part of the Frenchadors with Senza Volto, the French sensation. The Royal Hunter Gil Blanc, he is immensely talented. I see him doing a lot of big things. He's had a tour of All Japan Pro Wrestling. He's made GCW debut. He's been a big feature in WXW wrestling. So I just think, bright future. And Man Like Doris is just killing it. The man is on fire. Everybody is terrified. Padre Quinlan picked up the win over Critchy, Patrick the Man, known as Pud, is well, in the ring he is known as Das Wunderkid, and it really does suit him down to a T. Both him and his brother Christy Crinland are big, thick, strong lads, athletic, powerful. Again, I've said it, they are born for All Japan Pro Wrestling, and I really do hope the two get a chance to go out to All Japan Pro Wrestling because absolutely deserve it. Critchy is a heat magnet, an absolute heat magnet. Jimmy Jackson defeated PL Dotson. I'm not going to talk about Jimmy Jackson. I'll save that for the next TNT Ignition show. PL Dotson. I like PL Dotson. Bit of a throwback. Reminds me a lot of people like Doug Williams and William Regal. The loquacious of Leviathan. This intelligent bruiser, and I like the character. I like his wrestling style, old school, respect it. PL Dotson, make sure you do check him out. In the main event was MVK, the most valuable killer, Valkabius. I know Dan would want me to say Valkabius just like that, as I always have done. He defeated Casey Payne, defending the TNT Ignition Championship. Uber impressed with Casey Payne in this match. He was given plenty of time to really look dominant throughout this match, bullying MVK, who's used to bullying his opponents, but absolutely really thought Casey Payne looked like an absolute star in this match. Of course, MVK did come away with the win in the end with a quick comeback, hits a couple of moves, bam, out. But yeah, MVK looks great. I don't understand why he's not booked in more promotion. He looks fantastic. I'm sure he's very marketable. I really enjoy the guy. Right, that was TNT Ignition High Voltage. My personal view is it gets. I'm going to give it 3.25 sugars in my tea. Puro, the Wrestle Bear, technical wrestling wizard man. Tell me what your thoughts on this. You like KM Lane and RPD. You agree with me about the Temple Man. I'm not surprised. Your main event was very good, but you're only going to give it 3 sugars. I'll agree with that. Why not? Go check that out. That's on Progress Wrestling on Demand. As I say, that Man Like Doris, a Gil Blanc match. Even if you just want to check out that, highly recommend you do it. Get signed up to Progress on Demand, and go check out that match in particular. TNT Ultra X is now talking about the TNT Extreme Wrestling versus BZW show, the main show of the whole weekend, that featured a lot of the fantastic stars from Bangerzone Wrestling. Belgian French promotion. They run shows both in Belgium and in France. They recently packed in around 1,000 fans, with Bender El Zero making an appearance. EC3 was on the show. I'm a big fan of Bangerzone Wrestling. You can check out their shows. They're on Triller TV. And if you haven't checked out Bangerzone Wrestling yet, do check out Bangerzone Wrestling. Go see them on Triller TV. Anyway, on to TNT Extreme versus BZW. It opened up with an Ultra X #1 contenders match. Mr. Hype Kuro defeated Gil Blanc and Robbie X. This was so good. This was an incredible, fantastic match. All 3 of these guys are just so talented, so athletically gifted. The match was fast-paced. It had exciting spots. Yeah, great match. Just I don't know. I feel like there's no way to undersell how great this match was. It just was supremely great. An excellent way to open up the show. Lizzie Evo teamed with Lucy Sky, defeating Casey Owens and Judas Gray. This was a very good tag match. All for Lizzie Evo, Lucy Sky, Casey Owens, fantastic wrestlers. Judas Gray made making, I believe, his debut for the TNT Ignition brand. I've seen him before, part of Wrestle Carnival. He's an exciting young talent. He's a bit different, bit out there, bit Jeff Hardy. Yeah. Shaman A versus Tristan Archer. Shaman A picked up the win here in an incredible, another great match. Oh, this, Archer is such a great competitor. He really deserves more praise than he gets as one of the elite top heavyweights in Europe, skilled in the ring beyond many of his contemporaries. Uh, Very clever, very great with the crowd, whether he's a face, whether he's a heel, just superb. And Shaman A, they are phenomenal. Yeah, that's all I can say, really. Shaman A, they are phenomenal. They are just phenomenal. BZW Hardcore Championship match. Jacob Vadok defeated Antonio Gonzalez. It was one of the death matches on the show, and if you're into death matches, go check it out. Tate Mayfair's defeated Connor Mills in just a bloody brilliant. This is likely Tate Mayfair's best match ever, and possibly even the same with Connor Mills. I've always loved Connor, and he really took the fight to Tate in this match. His championship absolutely looked in danger throughout. It looked like, Connor Mills had his number, but Tate Mayfair's came away with the win. When you consider the heel face dynamic, this was kind of flipped on its head. I wonder, could they possibly try and push Tate to go face? Would it work? Could Tate be a face of a company? Could he be the great good guy? He's just such an amazing bad guy. But, if he's an amazing bad guy, maybe he could be a great win. Yeah, it was a bit of a cheap win for Tate, so but it was still a really, really fantastic match. Lycos Jim defeated the Rivalty, I believe, Ultima Sombra and Sweet Boy MBM. An incredible tag team, and so are Lycos Jim. I really feel like these two are very, very suited for each other stylistically. I could watch this match back. I could watch future matches between the two teams. In fact, I really want to see more matches between the two teams. Take it on tour. Yeah, very, very good. Excellent, in fact. And then it was TNT Extreme Division match. It was Drew Parker, Emerson Jane. Obviously, I did not watch it, but I heard good things from the deathmatch community. Puro to Wrestle Bear. And watch your language when it comes to the deathmatch wrestling. I'll have none of it. We sponsor TNT Extreme. We're on their ring. So leave deathmatch and tell me what you thought of the rest of the card. Tate and Connor were excellent. The opening match, triple threat, absolutely excellent. Yeah, fair play. Okay. Yeah, the tag match, Rivalty and Lycos Jim, as well as the women's tag match. Very good. What do you give it? WrestleBear has spoken, and he has given the show 3.5 sugars. My God, WrestleBear, you're onto something there. I agree. 3.5 sugars. I probably would have pushed it more, just like WrestleBear probably would have pushed it more. There were no death matches, but either here or there. I still think it's an excellent show, and Lycos Jim Rivalty, Tate Mayfair, Connor Mills, Puro, Blanc, and Robbie X. Definitely go check these matches out. Progress Wrestling on demand. Finally, we have the TNT Ignition Aftershock. This was the final show for this review. It kicked off with RPD picking up a vital win over Rob Drake. He was jumped later by Temple of Malum. Lycos Jim makes the save. Something's brewing between them. I know on the most recent show, there was a 6-man tag match. I do believe Temple of Malum and Lycos Jim will be taking on each other at some point. But yeah, Rob Drake, RPD, very good. TNT Ignition Women's Champion Lucy Sky defeated Casey, but it was by disqualification with Casey Owens getting herself disqualified. And then Lucy Sky, passionate promo on the mic, demanded a death match with Casey Owens, which I know took place on their most recent shows. Charlie Evans and Drew Parker defeated Emerson, Jane, and Shayman A, with Charlie, Drew, and Emerson showing that they are far more than just deathmatch wrestlers. This was a very good match. Shayman A, they played their part brilliantly in this as well. Excellent tag team wrestling. Charlie Evans is such a unique type of wrestler. Drew Parker, he is just a fantastic, charismatic. He's got a thing about him that does draw you to him as a competitor. So, you know, Jay Joshua defeated Aspen Faith. I am a huge fan of Jay Joshua, and it was supposed to be Jay Joshua versus MVK. Unfortunately, it was not Jay Joshua because MVK picked up an injury in his match against KC Payne. But Aspen Faith filled in here and put on a great match. Two big lads just beating each other up. Go watch it. I loved it. Jimmy Jackson defeated Judas Gray. I mentioned Judas earlier. Jimmy Jackson, he certainly got the support of the TNT Ignition crowd that got portrayed by MVK recently. Tried to challenge MVK for the Ignition Championship in a failed attempt. But I think they're building Jimmy Jackson, and he's gaining that support. In the main event, it was the TNT Ultra X Championship match. It was a man like Darius and Mr. Hype Kuru. This was hype. You know, hype approved for this match. I will say I do think the Gil Blanc man like Darius match was better, but still a very good match overall. I'm going to give the show 3.5 sugars. Yeah, I might be being a little generous with that score, but 3.5 sugars. Mr. Wrestle Bear, what you got for me? You want to give it 3.25. There you go. Puro the Wrestle Bear, he gives it 3.25. I score a 3.5. Again, all three of these shows, plus the Deathmatch Tournament show, are available on Progress. Demand Progress Plus. So go check out all those shows. While we're talking about TNT Extreme, we might as well talk about what's next. They've got 4 big shows set for the weekend of September 28th and 29th. This is all part of Effie's Big Gay Brunch Weekend, hosted by TNT Extreme in Liverpool. There are 4 shows. There is the Rainbow Rumble and TNT Ignite Fire, which are on the 28th. No, sorry. The Rainbow Rumble and Effie's Big Gay Brunch on the 28th. Ignite the Fire and Nation of Collaboration are on the 29th. For the Rainbow Rumble show, we know Ali Catch will get a shot at Lizzie Evo's TNT Women's World Championship. We also know that we get an Effie's Big Gay Dungeon match. And Effie will face Charles Crowley in this Big Gay Dungeon match. I have no idea what to expect from these two. I really, really don't. I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, though. We know that Dark Sheik has been announced for Effie's Big Gay Brunch. They have been part of all of the recent Effie Big Gay Brunches when regards to TNT Extreme here in Liverpool. At the TNT Ignition Ignite the Fire show, Lucy Sky will defend her recently won back TNT Ignition Women's Championship. Spoiler, she defeated Casey Owens in that cage match. And she'll be defending it against ZZ. ZZ, a great young competitor. She has been storming all over the place, making a name for herself very quickly. Plus, off the back of the last TNT Ignition show, RPD will face Joe Kessler. I assume that's going to be for the RPD's TNT Ignition Championship. There'll also be 6-man tag action. Emerson Jane will team with Skullbro Aspen Faith and Caleb Valhalla, one of my favorite new tag teams, as they take on the new faction of Drew Parker and the Quinlan brothers, Bud and Christy. Great little faction. Should be an excellent match. Plus, as I say, Nation of Collaboration. We talked about it briefly last week. TNT Extreme, but I promise it's going to be one of the biggest Brit Wres collaborations ever. We're excited to know more. I know announcements are coming soon with regards to the Nation of Collaboration show itself. Stay with us. We will report it. We will talk about it. I think there is some news coming for you next week. Right, to RevPro UK Summer Sizzler. Kicked off with a very emotional 10 bell salute for James Castle, a RevPro UK, former RevPro UK regular, trained down at the Portsmouth School of Wrestling for RevPro UK, helped train a lot of young up and coming wrestlers in the Portsmouth School of Wrestling. Unfortunately, James Castle did pass recently. There was a beautiful video message for him. Zoe Lucas was there to, as the partner of James Castle. It was a very emotional start, and we had a great way to honor James Castle in a match between Gideon Gray and Dan McGee, which was dedicated to the memory of James Castle. These were very close friends with James Castle. This was a very good match. I think the crowd were excellent for it, both before, during, and after the match, and they gave all the support they could. Zoe Lucas was there to help sell some of the James Castle's merch, and every penny raised by purchasing the remainder of James Castle's merch will be dedicated to a cancer charity for blood research. So please go support that. Go find Zoe Lucas. Go find the merch if you can, and support a great cause. Leon Slater and Jack Cartwheel then had a very exciting and fun match. Two amazing wrestlers who can do some really amazing things in this match. I felt it lacked an edge though. It was just missing that ingredient. It was an excellent exhibition of great wrestling, but it felt like it lacked a bit of an edge. Sunshine Machine defeated Greedy Souls, Youngblood, as well as David Francesco and Golden Boy Santos in a fatal four-way lucha tag match. This was for the #1 contendership to face the Grizzled Young Veterans at the 12th anniversary show in 2 weeks' time. There's the added stipulation for Sunshine Machine that the next time they are beaten or defeated, they will split. I'm kind of looking forward to the split eventually. I really would like to see what could be done with both TK and Chuck Rambo's as singles competitors. They've been Sunshine Machine for quite a long time. There'll be Sunshine Machine and other promotions because it's just a RevPro UK stipulation. But it'd be interesting to see where it goes, and we'll see if they can manage to defeat the Greedy Souls or possibly lose. The match itself, these are crazy chaotic matches. They're not my favorite style of matches. Puro the Wrestle Bear really dislikes these type of matches. I think they tried to make the best of what they had. It was just 4 teams just beating the crap out of each other, really, and Sunshine Machine came away with a win. After the match, Greedy Souls, as well as Santos and Francesco, they beat down Youngblood. Jay Joshua comes out to make the save, but he gets outnumbered quickly. Charles Samuels then comes out to make the save, even the odds, and run off the hills. I wonder if we'll get, Jay and Shaw versus Francesco and Santos, or we'll get Youngblood versus Greedy Souls, or even an 8-man tag. Possibly somebody else put it out there as a pre-show match. Annoyed Brendan White. He is not a pre-show guy apparently. Zazaya defeated RKJ with a referee stoppage. This was due to an injury. It was an unfortunate injury off a shooting star press. Zazaya came down very, very hard. Uh, it was a bad end because the referee didn't count three, but did call for the referee stoppage. I think in those situations you've got to count the three. I know Andy Gordon did mention this on commentary, and I do think you have to count three. I know Ref Pro UK, there's been an issue where a ref counted three when he wasn't supposed to in the past. But that was dealt with. I don't want to dwell on it too long. I agree with Andy Quilden. Referee should have just counted the three. We could have then put up the X sign for the injury afterwards. Up until then, I was actually really enjoying the match. Zaira's amazing Spanish wrestler, the freestyler, because he's an amateur freestyle wrestler he's a national amateur freestyle wrestler for Spain. And he's just incredible. He loves pro wrestling. You can tell he loves the fan sport. RKJ, I hope if he is injured, that the injury isn't too serious. It would be such a shame for RKJ to miss the 12th anniversary show. So hopefully we'll get RKJ back sooner rather than later. Women's the undisputed British Women's Championship was on the line. Danny Luna defeating Nina Samuels to retain, because Danny doesn't die, and it doesn't matter if the entire Cutthroat collection were out there. Mercedes Blaze, Sapphire Reed, Lizzie Ever, of course, run by Alex Windsor at the top of the table. They are one of the best stables right now in British wrestling. They are one of the biggest storylines in British wrestling. I did mention that I didn't like the fact that Alex Windsor was added to the team, but that's neither here or there. They are still one of the hottest angles in British wrestling right now. But, Danny Luna, just, too big, too bad, managed to defeat Nina Samuels and retain. After the match, of course, the Cutthroat Collective weren't happy. They were going to stomp out, but then Kanji was there, and then Rio was there, and then Debbie Keitel was there, and then Nightshade made her fantastic return. They absolutely beat down the Cutthroat Collective. They put Alex Windsor through a table. Now, before the show, the group, all five of them, they'd laid out a challenge to any five women in wrestling. And they would face them at the 12th anniversary show. Maybe it's just going to be 4 against 4, with Alex Windsor, of course, being put through the table, taken out by Nightshade via the choke slam bomb. Oh, it was fantastic. So maybe it'll just be Mercedes Blaze, Sapphire Reed, Lizzie Evo, Nina Samuels versus the team of Debbie Keitel, Kanji, Rio, and Nightshade. Any way you put it, it's going to be a fantastic match. Donovan Dijak defeated Robbie X. They are great. Robbie X is great. Dijak is great. Afterwards, Dijak put Robbie X over. He put NXT over. He put Shawn Michaels over. But this was interrupted by a video message from Gabe Kidd, and this is gonna be a match. Donovan Dijak versus Gabe Kidd at the 12th anniversary. Damn, that's going to be a great match. Luke Jacobs defeated Trevor Lee in what I would have said is the match of the night, and definitely the one match that really, really is worth watching on this show. Luke Jacobs is on a tear right now. Definitely one of the best and biggest stars in British wrestling right now. Progress World Champion. Has a chance to be the first person to ever hold the Progress and the Rev Pro UK Championship at the same time. If he does it, it will be incredible. In the main event, MJF defeated Michael Oku. This was good. It was very good. It just wasn't quite excellent or great. And I don't know why. It was a typical MJF match. He was a heat magnet. He was fantastic. Michael Oku was fantastic. There was a ref bump. Of course, there was a ref bump. Of course, MJF cheated. Outcame Luke Jacobs. He clotheslined Michael Oku, flipped them over. One of the best clotheslines you'll ever see, by the way. That was beautiful and excellently sold by Mr. Michael Oku. And then he laid out MJF. So, he laid out both. And then MJF laid him out. Uses the Tiger Driver After the match, he goes to Tiger Drive mirror, but then Will Ospreay, the golden goose of RevPro UK, returned. Huge pop. Out he came. He made the save. I just wish he had cost MJF the title and Michael Oku won the title, buying him a ticket to AEW All In, where he would have faced Pac for the AEW International Championship, because it was Michael Oku who defeated Pac to become British Cruiserweight Champion all the way back before Pac was signed to AEW. Michael Oku was one of the only people to pick up a victory over him. I do think it should have, maybe been that way. That's what I would like to have seen. And overall, and I may be in a minority here, but the show was so hyped going in that I feel it didn't live up to all of its hype. And for that reason, I am going to give this show 3.5 sugars. But the Wrestle Bear, what have you got to say? Dijak and Robbie X was excellent. Of course it was. Luke Jacobs was the man. Yeah, I said that already. That was great match, Trivoli. Yep, mentioned that. Well, you love the spine buster Alabama Slam from MJF. Can't remember who the video photographer was. Brilliantly shot, brilliantly edited. It was beautiful. It was art. I tweeted art, and Wrestle Resurgence agreed. It was absolutely art. Overall, I'm going to give it 3.5 sugars in my tea. Puro, Wrestle Bear, tell me, what are your thoughts? 3.25. I can see why. I can. Honestly, just the fact that it was so, it felt like it should have been here, but it was here. But, I still recommend it. Absolutely. Go watch it. Summer says Retro on Demand. What's next for RevPro? Well, there is a live in Southampton on the 18th. No matches have been announced yet. So this is a week prior to the big anniversary show. 12th anniversary show, which of course takes place 24th of August. It's part of that massive AEW All-In weekend. We now know most of the matches have been announced, including Gabe Kidd versus Donovan Dijak, Connor Mills versus Ethan Allen. Neon will be defending the RevPro UK British Cruiserweight Championship in a match, 6-person scramble. El Phantasmo, Cameron Kai, Will Caven, Will Slater have all booked their spots. There's one more spot to get. Who will be in the match? Tomohiro Ishii will be facing JJ Gale, as JJ Gale tries to do the one thing that Luke Jacobs has never done for RevPro UK, and that is beat Tomohiro Ishii. Danny Luna will be defending the RevPro UK Undisputed British Women's Championship. Yet to be confirmed the opponent. Of course, it was supposed to be Stephanie McCourt. We know what happened there. I hope it's Miyu Yamashita. I know she's in town, part of the Pro Wrestling show. She'll be free by the time of the RevPro UK show, because Pro Wrestling show takes place before RevPro UK show. So, maybe. We're going to have a technical classic as Zack Sabre Jr. faces Hench Zero. Hench Zero, of course, we've seen him on AEW, part of the CML L promotion over in Mexico. Michael Oku will also, of course, defend the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship against Luke Jacobs. As I mentioned earlier, could Jacobs be the first person to hold both Progress and RevPro UK's championships? It would be amazing if he did. Very similar to Rio right now, who's absolutely killing it as the ICW Women's Champion and the Progress Women's Champion. They're going to follow this up, the 12th anniversary show, with 2 shows with the GWF, the German Wrestling Federation, German's longest running promotion. It's as part of a double impact show on the 30th and 31st of August in Berlin, when WWE Germany come to town for Bash in Berlin on the 31st of August. I'll be speaking more about this next week as we look at Brit Wres abroad on the next episode. Right. get back to some exciting stuff happening around the British wrestling scene from other British wrestling promotions out there, including Progress. They've recently announced that Session with Martina will challenge Rio for the Progress Women's title. Of course, we get a more darker, serious Session with Martina here. She has gone heel. I'm really looking forward to it. Kid Lycos gets his rematch against Luke Jacobs after basically a squash match from Luke Jacobs last time out. I'm expecting this one to go a lot harder, a lot longer, but I think Luke Jacobs will retain overall. A match I'm really looking forward to is Sanity putting the Progress Tag Team Championships on the line against the former two-time Progress Tag Team Champions, the Smoking Aces, Charlie Sterling and Nick Riley. Great to see him back. Great to see Charlie back. Charlie Sterling, of course, was out with an injury for a few months. They had to give up the titles, basically, when they were injured, dropping them to the cheeky little buggers team of Alexis Falcon and Charles Crowley. Of course, Sanity would go on to defeat Alexis Falcon and Crowley, the cheeky little buggers, to pick up the tag team championships. I'm really looking forward to this match because four great, amazing superstars. Nina Samuels will be teaming with Lena Cross to face Kanji and a partner to be confirmed. My bet is Emerson Jane, over in Pro Wrestling Eve. They are the top shaggers and a Donny. I don't know which one's to shag or which one's to Donny. Who knows? All I know is they're a great team and two amazing wrestlers. Matt Like the Reese is taking on Gene Money, and of course we've got this new, again, darker side of Gene Money. Are we going to see Gene Money and Session with Martina possibly help each other out in these matches? Could Gene Money cost Rio the title and Session with Martina? Could Session with Martina help Gene Money pick up the win over Man Like the Reese? Of course, Gene Money's son, Taishi Oizawa, is likely to get involved in the match. We know that Kenta was supposed to be facing RKJ. We really hope that match still takes place because Kenta versus RKJ will be a banger. There will also be a meet and greet available for Kenta, of course, the former WWE star, Pro Wrestling Noah star, New Japan star, current Defy World Champion, and of course that match with RKJ is supposed to be for the Defy World title, so we'll have to see. Absolutely huge news regarding Chapter 171. History is written by the victors on September the 22nd as the One Cool Manders finally makes his Progress Wrestling debut. Great competitor, huge man. I became a big fan of him during 16 Karat Gold for WXW as well as a World Tag Team Festival. Recently, he was over for. Big fan of the One called Manders. Of course, he is trained by Seth Rollins. Will Ospreay's called him his favorite wrestler. He's known for his appearances for GCW, WXW, and the likes. And Manders versus Luke Jacobs for the world title. That would be a great match. Talking about a match that would be great for the Progress World Championship is Luke Jacobs versus Timothy Thatcher. Yeah, I said that right. Timothy Thatcher and Luke Jacobs are going to slap the crap out of each other, and we're going to love it. That's taking place as part of the joint Noah Defy Progress show that is taking place on the 5th of October as part of the WXW World Tag Team Festival weekend. I'll give you much more details on that weekend in particular next week as we look further into what Brit Wres stars will be part of that weekend. Attack Pro Wrestling and North Pro Wrestling, of course, teaming up with Hustle Wrestling. 3 shows in one day on Saturday, the 24th of August. The Attack Pro Wrestling show kicks off the day, and that starts at 11 o'clock till 12:30. Leon Cage is in action. I don't know if you've seen the clip on Twitter. My God, that double boots from the top ropes as your opponent is draped across the top, and then you hit a power. It was, I can't explain it. It was great. If you haven't seen it, go find Leon Cage on Twitter and check that footage out. Plus, we got the Greedy Souls versus Like Lycos Jim. That should be a very fun matchup. I'm not sure. Last time I saw Greedy Souls versus Lycos Jim, so it's a well-needed matchup. We got Chip McSwings facing Nino Bryant. Nino is amazing. I have no idea who this Chips McSwings is. Absolutely no idea. But he's Tory. I know that because that's what they tell me at the Attack Pro Wrestling shows. Plus, the former Attack Pro Wrestling champion, Jay Joshua, will face Connor Mills in a one-on-one matchup in what is guaranteed to be an all-action, hard-hitting affair that I am really looking forward to. We know that North Wrestling will be part, as you say, part of this weekend. Their show between 1 o'clock and 2. They've announced a few more matches, including Trent Seven versus Man Like the Reese. Of course, Trent Seven, Man Like the Reese, both Birmingham. Be interesting. Lizzie Evo versus Debbie Keitel, two just amazing competitors. Plus, the former tag team champions, Rio and Emerson Jane, will face Sunshine Machine, and that's a very exciting matchup. News from ICW off the back of heavy roasting. ICW have announced that Shay Monet versus Lee McRae will be taking place at their Bard Free show on the 1st of September, as will KOE versus POD. And of course, Stevie James versus Landon Riley for the number one contendership of the ICW 0G Championship, currently held by Theo Doris. I believe it's probably sold out now. I was going to say there are limited tickets available for standing. I doubt there are limited tickets available for standing. It's great to see that ICW have sold out. As I say, they have been rebuilding their brand post WWE under new management. It's an exciting time. Pro Wrestling Eve, we know that off the back of Sisterhoods of the Traveling Slams, it was announced that Sapphire Reed and ZG will face Aja Kong and Maxi Impaler. Yes, that's going to be insane. Plus, Nina Samuels will defend her Pro Wrestling Eve Women's World Champ, well, just Pro Wrestling Eve's World Championship against Miyu Yamashita. Of course, Miyu Yamashita, the longest reigning, most defending Pro Wrestling Eve champion in history. Nina Samuels, during her undefeated rise to become champion, managed to avoid facing Miyu for the championship because Sapphire Reed defeated Miyu and Nina Samuels defeated Sapphire Reed. And this will now be her biggest test up against Miyu Yamashita. We also had announced very recently Session Martina versus Raku and Himawari versus Mahiro Kiryu. And I've probably butchered these names. Great wrestlers from the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling side of things. Of course, this is a joint show, Pro Wrestling Eve, Tokyo Joshi Pro. Again, it's part of the AEW All-In Weekend. It's a massive weekend for British wrestling. I'll be all over it, don't you worry. Our good friends at Ignite Pro Wrestling in Boreham Wood, they have a show Aftermath on the 15th of September, and wow, what a matchup they've just announced for the Hitting the Turnbuckle Championship, as Mark True will defend his title against Joe Lando, Danny Black, and JJ Gale in a fatal four-way. It's going to be insane. Four incredibly talented young guys, four of my favorite wrestlers in one match. We also have in action Aluna versus Sapphire Reed, and Tommy Carl defends the Ignite Wrestling Pro Championship against Connor Mills. So Tommy Carl's biggest test to date. And Charles Crowley will be there. So, you know, Ignite Wrestle Pro, very, very exciting show. 15th of September in Boreham Wood. We know that Slam Masters are very, very good friends at Slam Masters Wrestling. They have a show coming up in Cardiff, back at the Banking Hall. 3, I believe now, is the number. Sorry, I haven't written down the date, so I'm quickly looking it up. Just pretend I'm not doing anything. Here we go. Back to the Banking Hall 5. My gosh, I'm completely wrong. And I say they're my friends. They are my friends. I really do love the guys at Slam Masters Wrestling. They've been big supporters of our channel. since very, very early on, and I really want to support them. I want to get down there. It's just very expensive for me to travel from the northeast of England all the way to Cardiff, Wales. I'd have to travel with my partner. Of course, that puts the prices up immediately, doubles my prices because of my health conditions. I wouldn't be able to travel that distance by myself unless I took a flight. I might have to look into that. I really do want to get down there and support these guys, though. But let me tell you about their show coming up on the 20th of October. Moose is going to be wrestling in Wales for the first time. Yes, that is Moose, two-time TNA heavyweight champion, two-time Impact Wrestling grand champion. Moose will be in action. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Rhino has also just been announced for the show. I know they've worked with a lot of guys from TNA before. Eric Young, Ace Austin. I think he talks and gets speaks to Gary with regards to what talents are coming over, and they really do try to bring the best talent to Wales, to Cardiff. As I mentioned, Leo Rush, Ace Austin, Eric Young, now Moose, and Rhino. Time for the gore. It's going to be an exciting show. It's Slam Masters Wrestling. It is back at the Banking Hall Part 5, Sunday, the 20th of October. And finally, just finishing things off here with Purpose Wrestling, because they've just announced an incredible main event for their upcoming show, Welcome to Paradise, which is on the 13th of September at the Merton Art Space in Wimbledon. As always, Nino Bryant defends the Purpose Wrestle Championship against two of the UK's biggest top stars, Michael Oku, Spike Trevay. Michael Oku, Spike Trevay, Nino Bryant, Triple Threat, Purpose Wrestling, 13th of September, Merton Art Space. Oh, and with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to kick it. Don't forget to support independent wrestling, independent promotions, independent wrestlers, independent wrestling podcasts that support independent wrestling. And remember to never feed the trolls.